they have their silent welcomes and farewells. They come forth from the darkness, and their sails gleam for a moment, gleam for a momently on in blaze, and eager faces, as the light unveils, gaze at the tower, and vanish while they gaze. The mariner remembers when a child, on his first voyage, he saw it fade and sink, and when returning from adventures wild, he saw it rise again o'er ocean's brink, steadfast, serene, immovable, the same, year after year, through all the silent night, burns on forevermore. That quenchless flame shines on that inextinguishable light. It sees the ocean to its bosom clasp, the rocks and sea sand with the kiss of peace. It sees the wild winds lifted in their grasp and hold it up and shake it like a fleece. The startled waves leap o'er it, the storm smites it with all the scourges of the rain, and steadily against its silent form press the great shoulders of the hurricane. The seabird wheeling round it with the din of wings and winds and solitary cries, blinded and maddened by the light within, dashes himself against the glare and dies. A new Prometheus, chained upon the rock, still grasping in his hand the fire of Jove. It does not hear the cry, nor heed the shock, but hails the mariner with words of love. Sail on, it says, sail on, ye stately ships, and with your floating bridge the ocean span. Be mine to guard this light from all eclipse, be yours to bring man nearer unto man. And then there's this, I think, Longfellow's greatest poem, The Fire of Driftwood. It's about a dinner party out in Marblehead, within sight of Salem. And a group of friends, old friends together, who become, as the poem goes on, more and more separate from each other, and in a sense separate from their own accomplishment. And somehow the sea, the disturbing sea that's so celebrated in the Lighthouse, and in the other poems that I read, in its mysterious relationships to us and to human culture, and the end of it is more fully, I think, explored in this poem. The Fire of Driftwood. We sat within the farmhouse old, whose windows, looking o'er the bay, gave to the sea breeze, damp and cold, an easy entrance, night and day. Not far away, we saw the port, the strange, old-fashioned, silent town, the lighthouse, the dismantled fort, the wooden houses, quaint and brown. We sat and talked until the night, descending, filled the little room. Our faces faded from the sight. Our voices only broke the gloom. We spake of many a vanished scene, of what we once had thought and said, of what had been and might have been, and who was changed and who was dead, and all that fills the hearts of friends when first they feel with secret pain. Their lives thenceforth have separate ends and never can be one again. The first slight swerving of the heart that words are powerless to express, and leave it still unsaid in part, or say it into great excess. The very tones in which we spoke had something strange. I could but mark. The leaves of memory seemed to make a mournful rustling in the dark. Oft died the words upon our lips, as suddenly from out the fire, built of the wreck of stranded ships, the flames would leap and then expire. And as their splendor flashed and failed, we thought of wrecks upon the main, of ships dismasted that were hailed and sent no answers back again. The windows rattling in their frames, the ocean roaring up the beach, the guilty blast, the bickering flames, all mingled vaguely in our speech, until they made themselves a part of fancies floating through the brain, the long-lost ventures of the heart that send no answers back again. O flames that glowed, O hearts that yearned, they were indeed too much akin, the driftwood fire without that burned, the thoughts that burned and glowed within.